conspiracy? Oh, okay. So now you're gonna look at me like I need a tinfoil hat on. As if they don't got V2K, MK Ultra, two-way radio frequency satellites, cameras everywhere, OnStar, smart devices. You tell me. Artificial intelligence wanna shadow us. All for the clamor and views, they playing cyberpunk. It's a game. The wine of Babylon got them shorties power drunk. In the Oculus, training like a school shooter. Got the Neuralink moving through they fried medullas. Circuits cross, Johnny Five, are they even alive? They created Frankenstein, let the blind lead the blind. It's the MRA, magnetic fields, radio waves. Now it's flowing through their veins, through the eye of a needle. Precursor to the mark of the beast. Why can't they see it? Broad path to destruction, my Lord. I pray you free us. They be watching when we speaking the truth. But non-believers, no control, but they thinking they God. They so conceited. My Lord, that's my rock and my fortress, so I ain't grieving. As the time draws nearer, gotta see this much clearer. Constantly checking the man that's in the mirror. If you still see your soul, just know that the world fears you. Born to be resilient, these bots can never kill you. We the glitch in the matrix, parallel in spaces. I've been running to my goals like I'm rocking some 860s of makeshift. Alternative X reality, deep fake setting the stage for more casualties. Neuralizers that really erase memories. Cloning labs where they harvest the soul energy. Backmasking, all they producers is doing sorcery. Force the Lord's hand, the Lord, and put a voice in me. Lift it like a trumpet and force the damn world to see the signs of the time. You calling it a conspiracy? So we gonna act like after the river Euphrates dried up, all hell ain't start breaking loose. We gonna act like after people got the slice, they ain't start collapsing and getting blood clots. They got all this biometrics, pseudoscience, CERN, conspiracy. Ha! Yo, what is up? Shalom, shalom. New breed music and motivation. That's where you can find all my music at. And that track right there, man, that'll shake your reality right there if you ain't trying to see what's going on. But you know how I feel about that. It's like, did I disrupt your reality? Did I disrupt your, delusion? That's just kind of how I feel about it at this point. Knowing how serious things are, knowing how time is at a crunch right now. So if some of the things I was saying in that track made you feel some type of way, it just kind of is what it is. Embrace it, because anytime you feel uncomfortable, that means change is required. But shout out to all my day ones who already know what it is when we do on the music side. I tried something different with the flow on that one. I'm glad y'all enjoy it. According to y'all's feedback, that joint right there is called Conspiracy. And basically, that's the response that I have in my brain when somebody calls me a conspiracy theorist. It's like, really? Because as soon as they say that, that's the soundtrack that pops up in the back of my head. So I just put it on wax, right? So anytime somebody start calling you a conspiracy theory because you have social awareness, political, religious awareness, and you paying attention to what's going on in the world, go ahead and play that song and just listen to it carefully. It's a lot of sources in that song in itself, right? But shout out to everybody that's joining. Let's see. Let me get my background going. As y'all enter the stream, make sure y'all pound that like button. I want to give y'all the history of Pride Month. That's right. Now, let me just put this out here. Now, every time there's a holiday or some type of festival, any type of celebration, I always break down the origins. So I'm not going to, stray away from breaking down where Pride Month comes from, and what it's all about. I've done it with Christmas. I done it with Easter. I do it with Halloween. I do it with at least every celebration that the Western world likes to promote and push. And it just is what it is. I'm not trying to go against a marginalized group of people. There's no hate in my heart. In fact, I believe that this stream is going to help even those who participate in the alternative. Now, Pride Month is a whole entire month. So what I look like not saying nothing about it, like what I look like, backing down and not speaking in regards to the origins of this month. Because, I consider myself to be a historian. So I'm not going to sit back and not say anything. That's just not fitting to happen, right? And there's a lot going on surrounding this month already. It's early off in the month, man. You got protests turning violent over there in LA. Some of the things that they rolling out in the curriculum in these schools, they got to be talked about, right? Yo, Marcus Curry, thanks for the 10, says Noah was like our first conspiracy theorist. 100. I like that. I like that. That's real talk. Let me see. I guess my sound deck is not working today. I was trying to give you a slight delayed reaction. Yep. Somebody said Target losing money. Yeah, they lost a lot of money, but their shareholders don't care. As long as that CEI score is good and they got the social acceptance, these major companies don't care about losing money. They all for the agenda. They all for making sure that their social credit system is in place. They don't care how much money they lose, because there's been a lot of pushback against the letter coalition this month so far. It's been a lot of people pushing back, and they've been losing billions of dollars. But that's not going to stop them from promoting and pushing the agenda, right? Now, I want to show you what's going on in the schools, man. I believe this is either a middle school or elementary school, but we got to make some changes in our lives, man. We got to start to gradually position ourselves to pull our children out of the school system, man, because what's going on in there is it's very lackluster, to say the least. And once you see what's going on, and then you actually find out the origins, the gods that's attached to this holiday, and you're going to really understand that there's nothing new under the sun, and it's going to make total sense why they're doing certain things, right? So, we want to start to try to push ourselves towards homeschooling, some type of, different setup. We got to start moving different out here, right? But anyway, let me set this up for y'all. Let's see. Trying to make the screen bigger. All right, so when your children is getting sent off to school, this is what they're witnessing this month in a lot of these schools. Not every school, but now that they're pushing all this acceptance or tolerance, rather, this is what these children got to see when they go to school. Peep this. Look, so, ladies and gentlemen, now I don't know what school this is. It looks like an elementary school, but all the teachers are embracing this, right? They're making it very exciting for the children. They're making it so the children are going to grow up, and when they think about alternative lifestyles that go against the Most High, they're going to look at it as a party, because they're being taught now that this is a good time, this is fun, this is colorful, this is just something that we should embrace. All of my teachers, all the adults, they was turned up when we went to school during Pride Month, and they're going to want to participate in this lifestyle. This is the madness of Babylon, ladies and gentlemen. This is what's going on in these schools. And we just can't tuck our head in the sands and act like it's not taking place. Now, I also want to make an announcement because we don't just talk about problems over here without bringing solutions. Pretty soon within the UNY, we're going to be airing our commercial in regards to our homeschooling program. We got some legit educators. We got some teachers who are uphold to biblical principles, and we're going to be having those online classes available for y'all, and we're going to make sure it's affordable. And these are some of the things that we're working on behind the scenes to make sure that there's an alternative for some of you mothers out there who don't want to send your children, you parents out there who don't want to send your children to these schools, because we're constantly being proactive with these things, right? But this is what's going on here, man. And it's just not right, y'all. This is not right, because they're gonna grow up and think this is the way, right? Peep game. And you got all these children waving the flags. The teachers are waving the flags. It's an upbeat environment. This is what's going on in the schools, y'all. This is what's going on. Now, hold on one moment. Let me see here. All right, let's play this through. Hopefully the music is not playing too loud. I'm gonna turn that down so I don't get hit with any copyright. For the record, fair use. Federal law allows citizens to redistribute portions of copyright material. So this is what your children are experiencing. And it's no wonder why, even in Los Angeles, y'all, even in Los Angeles, parents decided to clap back. They decided to clap back. And we're going to go to that footage as well. But before we do so, I want to put this out here, because there was a gentleman, I don't know if it was a gentleman or a lady, who asked me a very interesting question in my previous broadcast. And they asked me to speak in regards to overcoming sexual immorality in general. And I'm in hopes that in this video that we're able to bring out some scripture that really help brothers and sisters who may be battling with any type of sexual immorality. We're going to bring out certain scriptures. We're going to make sure that we address those brothers and sisters as well. Not only dealing with confusion with, homosexuality, same-sex relations, or whatever it is, but porn addiction, whoredom, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Because I find it necessary for us to understand that this program has been in place, and there's a lot of people who've been indoctrinated since they were youthful. And now they're dealing with a great deal of trouble. And it's our due diligence to minister to those people. It's not just, it's not just speaking hate or, being derogatory or anything like that. But if you're over here watching this video, you must understand that this is a Bible-based channel. And if you're going to come over here, you need to prepare to be healed and delivered from whatever sin that you are dealing with. Instead of pushing back against the grain, I'm here to help. I'm only here to be a servant. You understand? Ain't no need for you to troll. Ain't no need for you to get upset and angry, because I'm not coming in hatred, whatsoever. I do realize that things have happened to people. And, just looking at this video, seeing how the children are being indoctrinated, they're innocent minds, y'all. They're innocent. They're going to grow up. A lot of these people, a lot of these children are going to grow up alternative. A lot of these children in this video are going to grow up alternative, not because it was a conscious decision, but it was an unconscious decision that was implanted in their mind through their subconscious because of the things that the adults were doing. And, no matter how you slice it, man, rainbows are beautiful. And, Genesis 9:13 says, I do set my bow in the clouds, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. So the rainbow was originally a covenant between the Most High and the earth, saying that he would not flood the earth again. And we love our rainbow, and we're gonna have to respectfully take it back. Um, and that's just what it is. So the rainbow does not represent an alternative lifestyle. That is a lie. That's a lie from the devil, right? And we stand with our rainbow. We embrace it. I don't care how gangster you are. I don't care how street you are. I don't care how thugged out you are. If you walking down the street and you see a rainbow, a beautiful, majestic rainbow, you can't lie to me, y'all. When you see that rainbow, it's a certain level of purity, innocence, and you admire what the Most High God does, man. Yo, you could be in the middle of the block like, yo, that's a rainbow right there. You could be out there with all your homies, all that, and see that rainbow and it do something. You know what I'm saying? So imagine them using such a powerful symbol that the Most High God created to basically catch and embrace children whose minds are more open than our minds are open, right? So this is something right here that we got to talk about, man. But I'm going to go to some more footage, and I'm going to show y'all what happened in LA, because it's getting real out here. It's getting real out here, and I'm going to go to some sources. We got to talk about it. All right, elementary school protest in North Hollywood turns violent. Turns violent, y'all.
And I'm Cher Calvin. A Pride Day event at a local elementary school turns violent when parents clash.
Many started yelling and screaming at each other, some even throwing punches. Police were called in to separate the protesting parents from those who were there to support the event at Satakoy Elementary in North Hollywood. The assembly was supposed to highlight diversity and inclusion. Instead, it turned into a display of anger and animosity.
Yo, that is crazy. And then I can guarantee you that when the cops pulled up, they were more so protecting those that are alternative, because that's what's coming. They're a protected group of people. So if you can imagine, what was probably happening was, since this was going on in a school, more than likely somebody was, let's just say, embracing somebody's child too damn much. That's what it seemed like to me. Somebody was embracing the children too much. Since they're having pretty much pride parades at schools now, they're opening the door for all kind of perversion to go on, all kind of pederasty and pedophilia. That's what's going on. More than likely, that's what took place. You at a school, you got all these demons running around, because there's a lot of people fighting their demons and fighting their spirits. And they, got all these children around, and there's parents coming to the school protesting. Some parents in support of, and some parents not. That's a recipe for destruction. That is a recipe for destruction, y'all. But it all has an origin. There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. I want to go to Wikipedia, and I want to read something for y'all. I want to talk about Juno, the queen of the gods, the goddess of marriage and childbirth. She was a member of the Capitoline triad, right? And this was a goddess that was worshipped. She was a very sinister, evil woman, right? And they don't like when you break down what all this chaos is coming from. They don't like you going to the root. But we're gonna go there. Let's talk about it. Juno. And it happens to be the month of what, ladies and gentlemen? The month of June, right? So this is the goddess of this month. Juno, the protector and special counselor of the state. She was equated to Hera, queen of the gods in Greek mythology, and a goddess of love and marriage. Some would say goddess of love. Now you see why you see all the pride signs saying love is love. Now y'all see why it says love is love. She was the goddess of love and marriage, right? Jakeem, thanks for the 5. Says, keep being about our Father's business, my brother. All praises. Thank you, family. Thank you, Jakeem. I appreciate the support. It goes on to say, a daughter of Saturn. She was the sister and wife of Jupiter and the mother of Mars, Vulcan, Bellona, Juventus, like Hera. Her sacred animal was the peacock. You know why the peacock? Because the peacock is colorful, right? You know, these people be thinking they got spirit animals and things like that. Like Hera, her sacred animal was the peacock. Her Etruscan counterpart was Uni, and she was said to also watch over the women of Rome as the patron goddess. In Rome and the Roman Empire, Juno was called Regina, the queen, and was a member of the Capitolina triad. It goes, and also included Jupiter, Minerva, goddess of wisdom. Juno owned warlike aspects among the Romans, apparent in her attire. So she was a goddess of war as well. She was a goddess of chaos. So I mean, now think about this, y'all. Any place where this lifestyle is being promoted, anarchy will soon ensue. Lady D. Davis, thank you for the $10 contribution. I appreciate the support. Juno owns warlike aspects among the Romans and apparent in her attire. She was often shown armed and wearing a goat skin cloak. The traditional depiction of the warlike aspect was assimilated from the Greek goddess Athena, who bore a goat skin or a goat skin shield called the aegis. Juno was also known for wearing a diadem. Now, peep this. Juno was also once thought to be connected to love. Originally in Juno, dove from Divona, at the beginning of the 20th century, a derivation was proposed from a Latin youth through a syncopathic form, a heifer, younger. The etymology became widely accepted after it was endorsed by George Wissona. Now listen, they going after the young. It's actually always been about the youth, the young. Yeah, the children. This ain't nothing new. So there's no wonder why they had to incrementally break down a society to accept these people having pride festivals at schools. Because that has always been the target from Junos, the goddess. That's what she actually wants to occupy your children's souls, their minds, right? It goes on to say, Youth was one of 2 deities who refused to leave the capital when the building of new temple, Capitolina, required the exhaustion of deities who already occupied the site. Now let's talk about some of the roles of this Juno. While her connection with the idea of vital force, the fullness of vital energy, and eternal youthfulness is now generally acknowledged, the multiplicity and complexity of her personality have given rise to various and irreconcilable interpretations among modern scholars. Juno is certainly the divine protectress of the community who shows both a sovereign and fertility character. Now, check this out. In celebration of Juno, they would have actual festivals, ladies and gentlemen, where they would sacrifice. In the Roman calendar, February is one of the first months that they started this purification cycle. But off to the month of June, they would have these festivals. And that's what Pride Month comes from. It stems from Junos. Yeah. So I'm giving y'all some info today. Giving you some real deep information so we can know the actual root of all of this. It was a demonic goddess, right? Anyway, let us continue.
Tough lesson for children as we begin Pride Month. KTLA's Mary Beth McDade joins us live from North Hollywood with what stoked the protests today. MB.
Yeah, and Mike and Cher, while the war of words outside turned into violence inside, The assembly went off as planned.
Leave our kids alone.
There was shouting, shoving, and one person was even knocked to the ground outside Satakoy Elementary School in North Hollywood.
Now you're in North Hollywood, man. That's a place. That's a place there to be raising children. And notice the brother said, "Leave our children alone. Leave them alone." Well, unfortunately, this system is not going to leave your children alone. What it's going to take is you to be proactive. What it's going to take is you to make some changes as a parent. Start to position yourself to do different things instead of just sending them to these schools and allowing these teachers to raise them. Because as you've seen in the last video, it seemed like all of the teachers are alternative. Like it's like when they hire them, that's what they hire. Now, yeah, moving out of California may be a good idea. It may be a great idea. That might be a start, right? And I want to say this. Well, we'll get to that. Let's play a little more of the video.
The LAPD was there to try to keep the peace while the dueling demonstrators clashed over opposing views about a pride assembly being held at the school.
I disagree with the fact that a kindergarten should not have to be educated on this. There comes a time and a place where they all do need that education, but
I mean, why would a kindergartner have to know about anything regarding somebody's alternative lifestyle? You know, it all goes into the depopulation agenda. It's just that simple. They don't want them to grow up and want the opposite sex. They want them to desire the same sex, so life can pretty much cease to be. We're definitely living in those times. And this is what's going on. And I like to leave it like this. Make it simple. Here's simple education. Mark 10:6. But from the beginning of the creation, God made them male and female. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. He made male and female. And if you're an individual who dealing with any confusion within your mind, within your spirit, it's up to you to actually bind those demonic forces. I can give you some insight to help you with that, which, as promised, that's what I'm going to do. The Bible tells us that there's no sin that's not common to man, meaning everybody is battling with something. Everybody got some type of sin. Everybody got a trespass against the Almighty. And, we're not here to condemn you. We understand that that's what you're battling with. There's a lot of people dealing with a lot of different sexual proclivities and desires that may be wrong or against the text that's outside of homosexuality. They may be doing something that just, I don't know, use your imagination, but it's not homosexuality. They may be committing adultery. You got some guys that got fetishes for pregnant women out here, which is just that's abominable too. You look at a woman that's pregnant walking down the street, that's another man's woman, or she just got pregnant and you got a fetish for that. Like just different things that people going through. And I want to say this because I'm not trying to condemn and judge anybody who got whatever they got going on with themselves. But first of all, you got to know that it's a demon. All right. It's a demon. It's a malevolent force. It's something that you're going to have to bind. It's something that you're going to have to cast out. It's going to take prayer. Any sexual immorality that you're dealing with, fasting can really help you. Actually purging your flesh, putting your flesh under subjection. Fasting is very important when you're battling with, it could be masturbation. It could be a lot of things. And your prayer life got to be intact. Your prayer life got to be on point, man, because there's a lot of temptation in the world right now. In our lives, we dealing with a lot of temptation. It ain't like biblical days, because in biblical times, they didn't walk down the street and just see billboards, posters. They didn't have internet. It wasn't all these scantily clad women all over the line showing themselves, and all these guys, showing themselves. For the ladies, because a lot of ladies, they playing with them Rose toys. They got different instruments, different things they got going on, and we act like women ain't struggling. Everybody is dealing with something, but what it's going to take is you're going to have to pray. You're going to have to fast. You're going to have to get yourself right. You have to call on the Most High. Seriously. Because we don't want to, any of us, nobody wants to end up in a lake of fire because you can't get you can't get yourself under control, And also the idle time has to go away. Men and women, you got to understand, when you're not doing what you're born to do, what you're designated to do, when you're not in your purpose, when you're surrounded by the wrong people, when you got the wrong influences, when you're not on the right path, there's going to be a lot of idle time that comes with that. There's going to be a lot of confliction going on within your spirit because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. When you are doing what you were born and designated to do, when you are fulfilling your purpose, it will stop you from a lot of the things you struggle with, whether it be alcoholism, food addiction, gluttony. It doesn't matter what it is, man. I'm here to tell you the Most High is more than capable of delivering you. He's more than capable, but it's going to take you to be obedient. Obedient is key. Discipline is key. Sometimes in order to be obedient and disciplined, you may have to do something that you don't normally do, like fast for 5 days and say, Lord, I got to clean up my act. I need a visitation by the angels. I need to hear your voice again. I have fell off. I haven't been the person I'm supposed to be. See, these are the things, this is the conversations you got to have with the Creator. Lord, I've been going through it. I'm just fast for 5 days. In the midst of that, you'll get a visitation. He'll speak with you. He'll communicate with you. But right now, he might not be hearing y'all because of the lasciviousness and going backwards and relapsing and whatever it is you battling with. He might not hear you right now. You may have to take extreme measures for God Almighty to hear you. Because right now he is trying to seal the ones who belong to him. He's listen, the Most High is excommunicating the reprobates in the 2/3. He's gonna let them just go. The fact that some of y'all still feel conviction means your soul is still intact. The fact that you feel conviction for what you do, I don't care what you're struggling with. If you're dealing with same sex or whatever it is you got going on, your conviction, if you feel guilt, that means it's a chance you can save yourself, but you're going to have to be obedient. You have to turn from thy wicked ways and sin no more. Sin no more. There's a lot of ladies that have hit me up in the past, inboxed me and said, look, they used to dabble in an alternative, and thanks to my videos, they've been delivered and they're living a normal, what you would call a normal lifestyle. So, I think it's important that tolerance should be on the agenda, not tolerance in the sense of you can teach my children, or you can push up on my children, or you can make them celebrate something in these schools that I don't want them celebrating. But I mean tolerance in the sense of we can have communication, open dialogue, because I know a lot of these people are hurting. I seen a transgender. It was a video, and it's going viral. And this transgender got a surgery, got the actual surgery. And they're dealing with all kind of infections and all these kind of things. And that transgender said they still feel depressed, even though they thought they was a male. They thought there was a woman that was in a male's body, and they wanted to change. They went through the transition and they went through everything, and all that came from it was pain. They were saying how all that came from it was hurt. They still depressed. They still feel suicidal. They still going through it. That's because that's not the direction the Most High would have had you go. The Most High would have had, listen, only the Creator can make you whole. I don't care what walk of life you from. I don't care what you've done. I don't care what you've been through. You brothers out here who've been possibly molested, violated, they don't talk about that men go through this as well. Being touched by older brothers, cousins, uncles, or whatever the case may be. You are a man. And what you've been through as a child don't define you as no man. You know, once you grow, the Bible tells you to cast down all imaginations. Don't allow the enemy to use anything that can hinder you from your purpose. You got to silence the voice of the enemy. I'm telling you, because I know there's brothers, there's sisters that have been through it and been through that lifestyle. I'm going to tell you, man, the Most High can deliver you. You need to, stay into these scriptures, stay plugged in, listen to the men of Yah, pray without ceasing, and understand what's going on. Because right now, these people are in error. Romans 1:27 says, and likewise also the men leaving the natural use of the woman, burnt in lust towards one another. Men with men. Oh, that was an accident, ladies and gentlemen. It says, burnt with lust one towards another, men with men working that which is unseemly. Unseemly means this is something that ain't being talked about. They doing this on the low and receiving in themselves the error of themselves, with the error which was meat. See, this is what's going on. They've been led in error. Errors can be corrected. This is an error. When Christ came, he gave you a chance for grace. He gave you a chance for grace. The Bible says, shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. That sick feeling, that guilt, that reprobate spirit y'all feeling ain't gonna never go away until you peel this book open. And this is what these Christian churches are supposed to be teaching right now. But they stay silent. Let me see what the likes at on this video. Because your churches they not addressing this. They don't have the capacity to address these things. They don't have the capacity to address these things. You got these churches letting these people run wild. But anyway, let us continue.
Kindergarten and elementary is not the place.
Los Angeles is very diverse. And so in public schools, there's going to be students who have same-sex parents. So we need to talk about that.
As part of the assembly, the book, The Great Big Book of Families, which discusses
the Great Big Book of Families. This is what's being taught in the schools right now. Utter confusion. Utter confusion. Listen, there's going to be a great judgment on these people who's pushing these ideas. Romans 1:32, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death. Not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do it. But they have pleasure in them that do it. See, not only are these people abominations and they in sin. This is what we call reprobates. No. Listen, not only are they participants in the craft as well as alternative, but they get pleasure out of seeing others do it, even children, bro. They get pleasure out of turning people out and corrupting people and making them go against nature. They get pleasure out of it. Oh, the Most High said these people who making these books, these people who are setting up these after school programs, these people are setting up these parades. The Bible says they worthy of death, bro. They worthy of death. Worthy of death, bro. That's crazy. Levi, thanks for the 20. I appreciate the support, fam. Issa Mitchell, thank you for the 10 as well. Thanks for the support. Telling you. the great big book of family. So they're gonna have a whole bunch of mommies and mommies, daddies and daddies, all kind of confusion. This is what's being taught.
LGBT.
And I believe that book is said, was that Mary Hoffman? Mary Hoffman, for putting this book out to the children, you're worthy of death according to the Bible. You're worthy of death for having pleasure in teaching confusion to children, that they may be partakers of sin. You're worthy of death.
Which discusses LGBTQ families was read.
There is one sentence in the book, it is many pages, but the one sentence says some families have two moms and some have two dads. It also talks about some families are raised by their grandparents. Some are raised with just one parent. So it's one reference to the existence of LGBTQ families.
So when we went to the educators and we said, what are you going to tell my child when he comes to you and says, I have a mommy and a daddy. What does it mean to have two daddies? My mommy was pregnant with me. Which daddy was pregnant? How did the daddy have a baby? None of them.
Exactly. These are the type of questions that the children are going to have. This is what they're going to be confused about. Just basic family. Somebody said a father spoke out at a board meeting. Hold up. A father spoke out at a board meeting because they had books literally describing gay sex. See? Yeah, that's what's going on. It seems to be grooming going on. I mean, what else do we call this? What other word would you have for it? It is grooming. Are we going to change the definition of that now? If you're teaching children about gay sex, then you're grooming the children to accept gay sex, or maybe one day possibly participate in gay sex. It's programming. Man, take your children out of these wicked schools, man.
Then we're able to answer our questions. We as parents have the right to be able to determine when and where the appropriate setting is for our children to learn about that.
We're told the Pride Assembly went on as planned and the book was read.
See, with that reinforces what I said at the beginning. The parents came through. They were trying to fight for their children. We don't know exactly what transpired, but of course the police was on the side of the letter coalition because, this country is done. Law enforcement, they're on the side of Lucifer, and they're being used. That's pretty much Satan's standing army. And instead of protecting the children, what cops should be doing, right? Shouldn't police officers be protecting children? Instead of that, they were standing with Satan and Juno's behind them, just like in the thumbnail, and they was protecting the letter coalition, while the children are just left in the wind, right? And more than likely, they had anybody who was going against, what was going on, the book. Anybody that was going against it, they got put out. They probably got hit with billy clubs, batons, pepper sprayed, tased, and removed. That's the time. This is what we got going on in the United States, where in other countries right now, as we speak, they're not playing this kind of lifestyle on their children. But these people are getting protected. I mean, do you understand how symbolic this is? This is madness. People up there fighting for their children, protesting. But the police come in and remove those who are trying to more than likely protect the children. Sunshine, thank you for the $5 contribution. Says, remove your children from these demonic schools now. It's only going to get worse. Pay attention. Right. Exactly. You got to pay attention.
I just got out of the assembly, to come out, see how's everything going up here. It's nothing bad. It's really like education.
And you too damn big to be talking like that.
About different cultures, about LGBT with Celebration Pride Month.
A school police officer tells us that no arrests were made. They say that one man had to be treated by paramedics and was released. For now, reporting live here in North Hollywood, Mary Beth McDade. We'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, he was probably, treated by paramedics because they was going, them cops was going upside his head. For real. Somebody said something very key. Somebody said something very key. They said, and I gotta post that. Brooklyn says, sad story. Y'all gotta stop using y'all job as an excuse to send them to this demonic trap. You know what the truth is out there? The truth is out there. You know, because here's the thing. In this world, it's particularly in the Western world right now, we got to stop acting like there's not alternative ways to get to it. And I believe it's because a lot of people don't want to follow the Most High. And I'm going to say this. A lot of you ladies, the reason why you got to send your children to school is not because you have to work. You know, when you're looking at it, yeah, you got to work. You got to go to work. But that ain't the reason. There's a root to it. It gets a little deeper than that. That's not the reason why you got to send them to these schools. The reason why a lot of y'all women got to send your children to these schools is because you will not support polygyny. Because you would not accept the help from another woman. Because you would not let that man have himself another wife to help you to provide for y'all's children. And in this world, you gotta work. Listen, if you in a monogamous relationship, both of y'all gotta work just to sustain. With the inflation in this country, both of y'all gotta work. But instead of you ladies out there humbling yourself and say, you know what, we gotta start living like we did in the Bible. We gotta start being tribal again. We got to go back to our original heritage and our culture before the transatlantic slave trade and being westernized through feminism in this gynocentric society. And you know what? We got to stop playing these damn games. And we got to move another woman up here to help take care of these children so we can stop suffering and struggling. But no, that's the reason why you got to take your children to the schools. Because you're selfish. Not because you got to work. No, that ain't it. You're selfish. That's why. Your selfishness is going to get yourself and your children in a whole lot of damn trouble. Your selfishness is going to lead your kids off a burning bridge. It's because you're selfish. And I'm just being 100% with you. You're so worried about emasculating a man and holding him into your grasp and all of that. You won't let him basically do what he's, naturally supposed to be doing. And now you got to send them to the schools where they really want to, in these schools, they want to F on your kids. That's what's really going on. And I'm not talking about grades. A lot of these teachers legit, they want to F on your kids. But because you worried about another woman effing on your husband, you about to send your kids to school to get effed on. Ain't that a damn shame? You that damn selfish. Wrap your mind around that. That's what's happening. Let me see. And it better not be not one woman come up in here and try to teach me nothing in the Bible, because I'm going to block you immediately. Don't even have the nerve to come over here. Listen, let me put this out. Let me say this. Let me make this very clear. I don't care what you women think. I don't care. Matter of fact, this new world we living in, with these men these days, I'm nothing like them. These guys running around caring about what women think and caring about what they say and how they feel. I don't give a damn. And to be honest with you, I'm tired of seeing these guys out here. They apologizing to women. They doing this, that, and the third based on their commentary. And let me put this out here. It doesn't matter what you think. All right. I don't care. You're wasting your time. These guys out here are an embarrassment to me. I'm nothing like them. I don't care. Don't waste your damn time. Just don't waste your time. Somebody said, Bree, you're not speaking logical. I'm speaking very logical. Very logical. There's nothing irrational. There's nothing, what's the word? Out of pocket. Nothing I just said in regards to why a lot of women got to send their children to schools. Why they don't have time to homeschool them. Why they got to send them to people, to the alternative to raise them. It's because you're selfish. So it's because you're selfish. And you won't, listen, let me tell you something. Any woman within the Bible, any woman who claimed to be a woman in the truth. Let me say this. Any woman who claimed to be a woman in the truth, she should not have to be sending her kids to these schools. Do you understand what I just said? Because if she really in the truth, she's going to embrace other sisters. She's going to have herself a family. She's going to be a wife, and she ain't going to be, listen, that won't even be an issue. And even if she doesn't have those things, she's going to try her damnedest. You can unsubscribe. I'm glad. Good. Go. Matter of fact, you don't even got to do that because I could just hide you. I can hide you. Yeah. Let's get unconventional out of there. Yeah. What you here for? I don't. Bye. I love when they announce that they unsubscribe. But you will have a true sisterhood. Or at the very least, you're gonna try your damnedest to make sure you get your children out of harm's way. And you get them into a healthy environment to grow up and learn. Because I'm telling you, after seeing what's going on in these public schools, you really can't argue with that. You're gonna have to do something. You have to change something. I'm telling you. Let me see. Jamal says, I'm just taking notes. Real talk, man. Somebody said these public schools are serious, hideous. Yeah, right. Said Bree, speaking facts again. Women need to let men have multiple wives. I mean, here's the thing. I know we use the word let. But men are going to have multiple women regardless. So you ladies might as well just get right or get left, because men are going to have multiple women regardless. So really, you think you have some power that you don't? And it's one of those situations where you're trying to control things and it's really just working against yourself. So you might as well find you a good man who follows some type of morals and guidelines and principles biblically. And you might as well deal with him, and you create yourself a family to make sure that your children are provided for and taken care of. Khalees, thank you for the $5 contribution. She says, thank you, Newbury. You have motivated me to try a 5-day water fast to cleanse my spirit and get right with the Most High. Thank you for your good work. All praises. Thank you. Now, again, listen, polygyny is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Let's make this clear. But if I hit a nerve with what I just said in regards to the school system and you having a sister wife, that means that polygyny was for you, but you just missed your opportunity. You missed your opportunity to have help, because the only person who would get offended by that is somebody who know they did the wrong thing. Somebody who know that they could have had help. Now they in a bad situation because they was trying to fight against a man and fight against purpose and try to, maim that man and neuter that man and control that man. And now you don't have no help. Now you out here by yourself, because that's what's going to happen. When you try to contain a man's manhood, you ladies are going to end up by yourself and you ain't going to have no help. Seriously. Because, let me make this clear. A real man is not going to sit around for the abuse coming from a woman who is trying to emasculate him. That's not going to happen. Patricia Stricken, thank you for the $10 super sticker. Highly appreciate it. Yo, Jay Miles, thanks for the 10, says a lot of them schools be zesty. They targeting kids to accept that drag filth. Yeah, real talk. Matrix says, what about STDs and stuff? What are we talking about? How does STDs come up when we talking about polygyny, but STDs ain't come up when we talking about the Pride Month? How did STDs come up when we talk about polygyny, but everybody in the world is just smashing, having quote unquote casual sex with everybody, and we ain't talking about STDs? I don't know if something is wired backwards in some of y'all's mind, the way you think. Everybody having one night stands every damn night, and we're not talking about STDs. But when you talk about a man having more than one wife, we talking about STDs? What the hell are we talking about? I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. I don't get it. Somebody said there are plenty of abusive men in the world, and although I agree with much of your content, your major issues and STDs is what? Major issues and STDs is an excellent. I'm just gonna block you because that's dumb. It's literally women out here on OnlyFans selling their bodies every damn day to the highest bidder. There's literally women smashing multiple men every other night. There's men it's whoredom all over the place. But if a man have more than one wife, STDs make sense to you? Do you realize how dumb that is? If a man has more than one wife, he's going to be loyal to his wives. That's going to stop him from running the streets and just dealing with ladies of the night, because he's going to have his group of women, his group of concubines or wives, instead of just going out here being reckless. How does that not make sense to you? You know, that's why I'm going to stop entertaining my comment section, because I don't like stupidity, bro. You living in a world right now where everybody is out here just out there with it. Sexual immorality is running wild. This is why I can get in so many inboxes of people asking me about overcoming sexual immorality. Yep, somebody said it's safer and healthy to do it that way, and it makes more sense. Exactly. You know, a lot of these ladies selfish, man. They listen, a lot of them don't really care about their children. And I'm gonna tell you that, because if they cared about their children, videos like this will be going viral, talking about the schools and what's going on, because they'd be spreading the word. Women make things pop. They're the ones who be making these platforms pop off. They don't care about the children. They don't want to talk about this. They're selfish. A lot of them are selfish. And a lot of their children are just pawns. They're just pawns. They use their children as pawns. And it's nothing really more to it. I know exactly what type of spirits are out there. I get it. You would do anything instead of just bowing down and being submissive and being a woman, being a helpmate. You do anything. You will do anything instead of just humbling yourself and being submissive. Anything. You would send your children off to war if you could. Stop acting like y'all care about these babies, when you got the opportunity to have a sisterhood and have a woman that's in your corner, that's your friend. You know, half of y'all homegirls want to get with your man anyway, but you hanging with them because you got confusion in your mind. You like being in competition with other women. There's nothing worse in the world than a woman who hates other women, and a woman that's jealous of other women. There's nothing in the world worse than that. I don't want to be around no woman who's jealous of other women. That's crazy. That's unnatural. Somebody said they'd have fathers if they cared about those babies. Exactly. Real talk. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. All praises to the Almighty. I just wanted to talk about what was going on in these schools. But hey, I had to talk about solutions. We can't sit up there and keep talking about problems. Look, we know what's going on in the schools. What y'all ladies gonna do to change? Y'all gonna have sister wives? Y'all gonna help? Because I know you paying all this money for daycare. You don't know what the hell going on in the daycare. Then you sending them to these schools. You don't know what the hell going on in the schools. You worried about what your man doing. Why don't you sit down with your man and say, hey, look, I already know you dealing with Keisha from down the street. Look, Keisha need to move on up in here, and we're gonna do this like a family, or you could just keep it moving or whatever. Or y'all, we need help with the kids, or we're gonna drop the kids over there. I'm gonna get to know her, and we're gonna work as a team. Y'all don't want to do that. You're selfish. You want to be the only one. Let's see how that work out for you when things really get real. When it get really real, it ain't even got really real yet, but y'all gonna see. You gonna see it's gonna get real. When you gonna have to start being resourceful. Watch. Let me tell you something. Everything gonna come to the light. It's all gonna come to the light. And if you a selfish energy, you ain't gonna make it do what's coming. I'm telling you right now. But all praises to the Almighty, man. More content coming. Thank each and every one of y'all for viewing. Even the trolls and the scoffers, thanks for the view. I want y'all to have a beautiful evening. Follow me on Patreon for exclusive content. Hey, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Also, turn that post notification bell on so you can get these streams as they're being uploaded. Click on the bell, go down to the settings, and make sure you get all notifications on, right? Man, listen, y'all have a blessing. That being said, shalom and peace.